Have you thought about living overseas for a few years? Maybe switch life up for a bit? I'm a little biased after living overseas for the past 7 years, but I definitely think everyone should live overseas at some point in their life. Hi guys, I'm Melissa, and I'm the creator of the expat blog lifebymelissaandrew.com. Head on over to check it out if you're interested in anything expat life related. And today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I think everyone should be moving abroad at some point in their life. Now, after living overseas for 7 years, I'm not trying to say that it's all butterflies and rainbows or easy by any means. But for sure, all of the challenges you go through as an expat are 100% worth it. And I hope today's video inspires just one of you to take that leap and move abroad. All right, guys, before we get into it, you know the drill. Go below, hit that like button, and also hit that red subscribe button. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by July 1st. That is my birthday. So I'd love to be able to celebrate with 1,000 subscribers. So be sure you're going below and hitting that subscribe button. So that way you're notified when we release a new expat related video. And without further ado, let's get into the list. Here are my 5 reasons why I think everyone should be moving abroad at some point in their life. So number 1 is your curiosity. And I'm going to read a quote from Eric Booth. When curiosity is alive, we are attracted to many things. We discover many worlds. Are you curious what it's like to live day by day in a different country? Maybe you've had a favorite country that you've been interested in since you've been a child, or maybe there's some place where you just want to learn the language. I know for me growing up, I would always daydream about other countries and exotic places and what they looked like and what the people did day to day, but I had never been outside of the US. But I just knew in my heart that one day I would get overseas, and sure enough, I became an expat for 7 years in my 30s. But I think I've talked about this one before, guys. Actual, genuine curiosity is definitely required if you're planning on living abroad. I mean, if you're not curious about Japan, Mexico, France, India, then why the heck would you move there? But if you've ever been curious about living in a different country, there's no better time than now to take that leap and go for it. Well, maybe after COVID. All right, reason number 2, regret sucks. I know we don't like to talk about regret a lot, but guys, it's still there. Don't let your dream or your desire of living in a different country become a regret that you have one day. You don't want to wonder how life would be different if you had followed your gut and made that move overseas or went and lived in Mexico for a year to learn Spanish. And guys, let's face it, we need constant change in our life. Otherwise, life becomes kind of stagnant and boring. And change signifies growth. Yeah, you'll be moving someplace completely foreign to you. You won't know anybody or understand their customs or their culture, but that's what makes it so beautiful. You'll be taking a chance on yourself. You'll be betting that you will be able to assimilate and build a new life in a new country, a new culture, among new people. And once you've taken that chance on yourself and succeeded, there is nothing to regret about that. So the third reason is food. I kind of needed to throw in a more lighthearted one after regrets. So this one's pretty obvious. If you enjoy eating new foods, then you're gonna love being an expat in a new country. Personally, I've become aware of so many new foods living in different countries. I had no idea that in South Africa, in Botswana, the meat was so amazing, or that in Namibia there was such a big German influence, or that in Angola where we lived, the most popular food was funge, which is basically a paste made of cassava, and it kind of soaks up the juices from the meat and the beans that are on the plate. And the food in Argentina was so good that I did a whole video on that, and I will link it below in the description box. And if you go to that video, there's also some links to Amazon. If you are living in the US, you can have some media lunas and some alfajores and some dulce de leche delivered straight to your door. So definitely give that video a view and maybe order some goodies for you to try at home. So remember that indulging in all your favorite foods of your new country is literally one of the best parts about expat life. Number 4 on our list is it's not permanent. Guys, if you move overseas, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be there for the next 10 years. I'm gonna be there for the rest of my life. I can't make that switch. That's just not true. I spent 3.5 years in Angola and 3 years in Argentina. And each time I went to those 2 countries, I thought the same thing to myself. How long am I gonna have to be there? How long are we gonna be there? I don't wanna be there forever. But the truth is, you really do make a life for yourself in your new country. And honestly, it was super hard for me to leave both of those locations. And now I can't imagine life if I had just stayed in Houston for the past 7 years. So if it's not a permanent move and you've always thought about going overseas, then why not just give it a try? And if it turns out you don't like your new location, then you can always just move. I once heard a saying, you're not a tree, you can move. And guys, it's super true. I play that out in my life over and over again. And it'll be true for you too. If you move someplace that you don't enjoy at all, then maybe you can try a neighboring country that speaks the same language, or you can even try a different continent or go back home. Nothing's set in stone. We design our own lives, and nothing is permanent. So if you're not enjoying something, you can always switch it up, move, or even go back home. All right, the fifth and final reason you should move abroad during your life is it's going to give you a new perspective on life. Definitely living among a new culture is going to change the way you look at things. I'll even argue it'll give you a more holistic, better view on life just to have a different perspective because you'll be learning so many things not only about that new culture, but also about yourself too. You'll become more empathetic to others who may have a different culture or also who look different from you. And I really think that's because you live in a new culture, in a new country, where everything is really done differently than how you've done it your entire life. But at the end of the day, you'll really see that people are all the same no matter what country you're in. Everybody just wants to be loved, everybody wants happiness and joy in their life. And the only difference is different cultures go about getting those values in different ways. It'll definitely show you that your way of doing things or your culture's way of doing things isn't the only way. And because the people in your new country will probably maybe look different from you, you might stick out like a sore thumb, and that will give you a different perspective as well. I think when we lived in Angola, the most common question I got was, are you Portuguese? Are you from Portugal? And then when we moved to Argentina, the most common question I got is, are you Brazilian? Are you from Brazil? So the feeling of maybe being in the minority or not looking like I belonged definitely gave me a different perspective on life. And it's likely that this new perspective will also make you realize how amazing your own life has been. I know it sounds cliche, but especially us as Americans, if you have access to a vehicle and a roof over your head and plenty of food in your fridge and an internet connection, then you're already doing better than 90% of the world. And I know, again, that sounds cliche, but it's so true. And when you live in a country where you see that day in and day out, it's definitely very powerful. And in this day and age, in 2021, we can all use a little fresh perspective. All right, guys, those are the 5 reasons I think everyone should move abroad at some point in their life. I really think 2020 has taught everyone so many lessons that they needed to learn. And one of the lessons that I learned throughout 2020 was to make sure that I was making time to actually carve out the life that I want, and not just one that I was kind of going through the motions every day. Don't go with the wind, make deliberate decisions, and work hard and manifest a life that you truly want. And that's kind of exactly what this video boils down to. Have you thought about moving overseas? Like, really thought about it? Well, I hope these 5 reasons give you the inspiration that you need to take that final leap and move overseas. All right, guys, be sure to go below and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe so I can hit 1,000 subscribers by my birthday, July 1st. And let me know down in the comments where you guys are thinking about moving to. All right, I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.